My name is Adi Vaxman. I was born and raised in Israel, moved to the States in 1998, and studied at Cornell. I live in northern New Jersey. I'm a mother of three. I have a senior in college, a senior in high school, and a middle schooler. And I own and run a management consulting company that until October 6th last year was very successful. On October 6, 2023, after Shabbat dinner, my family and I sat down in the living room to watch the news from Israel. When the first video arrived, a white Toyota pickup truck with terrorists holding Kalashnikovs on the streets of Sderot. With an intensifying sense of terror, we continued to watch as a small blue sedan was shot at the gate of one of the kibbutzim, as the yellow gate was opening. I grew up on a kibbutz, and I felt like the earth was dropping from under me. As I started to process what was happening, I reached out to my friend and colleague in Kfar Aza, who I've worked with for over a decade, to check on her. We spent the next terrifying 26 hours barely breathing while texting with her as she hid in her safe room, her children stuffed inside closets, while terrorists were shooting inside her house. She was finally evacuated 26 excruciating hours later. As the night progressed, the horror continued. My stepdaughter, who was serving in an IDF search and rescue unit at the Zikim base, finally called around 2 a.m. Slowly, she was revealing what was happening in her base. Her voice and my heart were breaking as she slowly said, "Abba, all of my friends are dead." She had switched weekends with another girl who took her assigned watch post that morning. The girl she switched shifts with was among the first to be murdered on that base. As the videos kept pouring in, one horrifying, heart-wrenching atrocity after another, my brother, a 47-year-old reserve commander of a tank battalion, was on his way to join the fighting in the south. He has been fighting, and I haven't been breathing for 406 days. Over a year later, and I still cannot fully describe nor understand what exactly happened to me that night. My oldest son told me recently that he was truly afraid that I was never coming back. I did come back just recently, but I came back entirely different. Back to those first 26 hours when my friend was trapped, early Saturday morning, friends started calling whose kids were serving as lone soldiers in combat roles in Israel. Kids who grew up with my kids, who I've known since infancy, reporting a massive shortage of equipment, particularly ceramic vests and helmets. Since everyone in my community knows me as the problem solver, I was the one they called for help. Out of my immense and immeasurable pain and a terrifying sense of helplessness that I felt was going to destroy me, I knew I had to take action to simply survive. On Saturday evening, I reached out to a friend in the economic mission of the Ministry of Defense in New York City and asked which suppliers in Israel sell ceramic vests approved by the IDF. He gave me 3 contacts. At 1 a.m. on Saturday night, I called these suppliers and paid for their entire inventory of ceramic vests on my personal and company credit cards without having any idea how I was going to pay them off. It was $160,000. And so Operation Israel was born. On Sunday and Monday, I was joined by Roy and Isabella, my partners in crime on this mission who are here this weekend. And I now realize God put in my path for a reason. Within days, we began receiving photos and videos of soldiers wearing the vests we sent, vests that would later save their lives. Each image was a reminder that every dollar donated translates directly to a life protected. On October 17th, Operation Israel received its 501c3 nonprofit status. The next several months are a complete blur of sleepless nights and tens of thousands of messages. We set up a form and a system to process requests, and it exploded beyond belief. We received thousands of requests for equipment every day. In the first month, we raised nearly $5 million and shipped hundreds of pallets and suitcases worth of tactical and medical gear to the units. My house became a warehouse. My family members turned into an assembly line. By now, we are experts on tactical gear, field trauma response, and combat strategy we never thought we'd be involved in. I have become an expert in customs processes, import, export, and 1,000 regulatory challenges. I've battled every government office and bureaucracy that stood in my way and won. I have worked against giant obstacles and appeared on every media outlet willing to give me airtime. I've packed thousands of bags, carried them to the car, and drove them to the airport. I hurt my back 100 times. I stubbed my toes 1,000 times. I cried 1,000,000 tears and uttered curse words in 5 languages. Every single member of my family has cried, carried, unpacked, packed, loaded, unloaded, counted, and shipped thousands of pounds of equipment. We've stayed up countless sleepless nights waiting to hear what cleared customs and what stuck, what arrived and what did not, what made it into the field just in the nick of time by some miracle. We've exchanged thousands of messages with soldiers and had endless conversations about the nature of the fighting, the conditions they're facing, their difficulties and challenges, the families they left behind, the friends they've lost. Our hearts break day after day for every fallen hero, many of whom we know personally, but don't ever get to say goodbye. I stopped working completely. My team at work tried their best to carry the load alone, giving me the space I needed to process and heal. But I nearly worked my company into the ground. This past summer, I went to Israel for 3 weeks. I took my older kids with me to show them who it was we were doing this for. I documented my journey in a short video you can find on our website, operationisrael.org. It was an extremely emotional journey, and I came back with a renewed sense of hope and determination, and with a clear understanding that Israel is nothing short of a miracle, and that these soldiers are absolutely brave, inspiring, humble, true real-life heroes hiding among us. I realized I was given the privilege and must follow the calling to help save their lives. This past year has changed me in ways I never could have imagined. Through our work with Operation Israel, I've become deeply embedded in the war effort, experiencing every high and low alongside the soldiers. We are often among the first to know about terrible incidents, receiving immediate news of losses with a soul-crushing level of detail and a heavy responsibility. The weight of this knowledge is almost unbearable. We receive videos and photographs that show the raw reality of war, images that sear themselves into our hearts. But we are also there for the moments of triumph and hope, like when hostages are rescued. These rare glimpses of light remind us why we continue this work, even on the darkest days. I feel what our soldiers feel. I feel their pain, their fear, their determination. It's an honor and a privilege to bear this burden, but it is also incredibly hard. The emotional cost is constant and profound. I find myself living in 2 parallel realities, trying to maintain some semblance of normal life while carrying the weight of a nation at war. Every day, I try to make a conscious decision to continue, to keep hope alive, just like Hatikva reminds us. I've learned to live with small joys side by side with horrific losses and deep, ongoing grief. It's a delicate balance, and some days it feels like the grief might consume me entirely. The Adi who existed before October 7th is gone. In her place is someone who understands the fragility of peace, the preciousness of life, and the power of community in a way I never did before. I am simultaneously broken and rebuilt, shattered and strengthened. My soul has been profoundly affected, and I know I will never be the same person again. This journey has taught me that healing is not about returning to who we were, but about finding meaning in who we've become. Every life we save, every soldier we equip, is a testament to our resilience as a people. It's a daily reminder that even in our darkest hours, we have the power to create light. Just last week, a commander called to tell us that equipment we provided saved 3 of his soldiers during an operation. "These boys are alive because of you," he said, "because of Operation Israel." I never thought I would see the day that the IDF was in such severe shortages for so long. I never saw myself as a military expert, and I never would have thought I'd be doing this at this rate and intensity for so long. But here we are, and the soldiers need us, and we cannot let them down. I was here, and I had the skills to make this happen. God surrounded me with the people that could carry it forward, and Operation Israel is the result. I share my story as a testament to our collective strength. Each one of us has been affected by the events of October 7th and the war of the last year in profound ways. We all carry scars that may never fully heal, but we also carry the power to transform the darkness into light. Any one of us can do something to support Israel and the Jewish people. Each one of you has a set of skills, contacts, connections, or knowledge that can be put to work in times of crisis. I responded to a calling out of my own intense distress. The result is hundreds, if not thousands, of lives saved. I'm incredibly grateful for the amazing people who surround and support me on this mission. And I urge each and every one of you to get up in the morning and think about one thing you can do that will make a difference. I'm just a businesswoman from New Jersey who decided to act. Today, that decision means hundreds, if not thousands, of families still have their sons and daughters, brothers and sisters coming home. Every contribution translates directly into protecting these brave soldiers. Our supporters are not just making a donation, they are sending a message to every soldier that they are not alone, that their lives matter, that we stand with them from near and far, and that truly means a lot. Our team is here this weekend to advocate for the soldiers. We have a booth here at the expo, down the alley here, where you can learn more about our work. I invite you to stop by and write a Chanukah card to a soldier. As we sit here today, soldiers are preparing for another mission, risking their lives. They need our help now, not tomorrow, not next week, now. Every minute we wait is a minute a soldier goes in without critical gear. The Jewish people have survived thousands of years of challenges and persecution. We will survive this darkness as well. I am calling on you to stand with Israel, to remain united in our mission to carry forward the miracle that we have been for 4,000 years. Let us transform our pain into purpose, our fear into fortitude, and our love for Israel into action. Together we can ensure that the light of Israel continues to shine brightly, a beacon of hope and resilience for the world. עוד לא אבדה תקוותנו, עם ישראל חי. Thank you very much.